And we haven't seen much of it. We did see, I think it was one appearance in Monthly Final 1. It's making its appearance here in Monthly Final 2 as well. Look, I don't think it's a bad pick. I definitely think there's room for it to work, but yeah, I think just being able to shenaniganize through the bushes, play around those walls, I think there could be a lot done with this shade.
Yeah, this the shade pick here, it could actually do quite well, all things considered. I mean, we're looking at just a pretty healthy assassin, with the damage being really good, the very fast reload speed, albeit it does require him to be pretty up close and call to wrap it all up. Monarchy has a really good lineup, albeit that shade choice, I'm not fully yet convinced, but I'm intrigued.
They definitely have my attention. We'll see if they hold it, of course. But I mean, at this stage, I think there is potential for this to be a bit of a problem. We'll have to see. Overthrow, where they go. It's a Frank last pick. So just frontline bulk. I think both drafts have a decent amount of bulk, decent amount of damage output. Once again, as it has pretty much for the entire game, it is going to come down to positioning.
Oh yeah. Lots of positioning, especially for a map like this. It's going to be quite a potent one. Hard Rock Mine has quite a fair few hidden spots here and there, so going into this going to be key to just keep up the pressure with the gems. And the moment you do get the 8+ gems, it's going to be quite difficult to really pull a comeback here, I feel. So yeah, onwards into the breach.
Well, as we jump on into it, Monarchy one set away from closing things out and booking themselves a spot in the grand finals alongside Upcore Esports, and already Valiant playing through the middle on this 8-bit. Great range, great damage, very slow, very easy target for the beat. If Thran can find those openings, and that's exactly what's happening. Walk does not, unfortunately, walk much further as he runs straight to the face of a Frank. Will be cleaned out, and yeah, Rico being able to play these side lanes, the bouncing shots mean that Captain Rox is going to have a very hard time remaining relevant. And Super comes out, Walk is dead.
Oof. Yeah, Walkthrough unfortunately didn't have enough of a range to really play around with. Sran will need to be very cautious about how he plays his position here. Valiant as well. Chamar is going in for the swing as well. Captain Rox being low on HP though. Oh, still actually manages to keep on assisting us. That is another frag, another kill. Valiant tries to fall back. Sran actually decides to push the team onto the offensive, and a 7th gem now being accumulated by Monarchy. It is not looking particularly too good here for Overthrow.
Not at all. It is quickly coming apart, but I mean, that priority Sran does survive. Walking away, hypercharge for Chamar. He's not going to have the range, but unfortunately, with Chamar falling, Captain Rox may have overplayed his life. They've still got the lead by 5 gems, but they don't have the map priority to be able to get themselves back. And look at the bouncing shots from the Rico. Hypercharge is there. Yeah, there was nothing. There was no way Walk was closing the gap to make anything happen there. Somehow, though, the spin in from the Carl has gotten them the gems they need. They only needed the one more, and he's secured it. The countdown has started 10 seconds. Walk needs to body block the Sran. The bouncing shots, the hypercharge. Shreds around the map. Sran's gone down. Now it's Overthrow and countdown. Just Walk remaining. This shade is not doing at all what it's needed to do. And Overthrow looking to take the crown off the Monarchy's head. And unfortunately, with 5 seconds to go, those gems were on Chamar, on your Frank, who is just too tanky. And what looked like it was going to be, again, the rich stealing from the poor and eating. Unfortunately, yeah, Robin Hood gets involved. They steal from the rich and give to the poor. Overthrow, take it. They are looking like they might be trying to force us to a decider.
Oh yeah, this certainly feels like it. Overthrow are looking pretty keen to keep themselves up and running. They don't want to close out the night quietly, and for all the understandable reasons. Look, they are a very strong force to be reckoned with, I feel.
We see a lane swap coming in, but it's Walk into Spion now, which is, again, not really that great a situation. They do take down the 8-bit, though, and it forced Chamar into enemy territory, and pretty deeply so. Captain Rox, big damage out onto this Frank. They want to finish him off. Walk is going to look to jump on into Valiant, goes in Corporeal. He's going to have not quite the damage, as somehow Valiant survives with the assistance. of Sophian. But Captain Rock's into the back line, and that's the power of the 8-bit gadget. Gets himself out of danger and repositions aggressively. The heat ejector's coming out from Captain Rocks. Not going to land. Does get some decent burn onto Valiant, which is going to slow down the regen. Shamar again into the back lines. We've seen Monarchy in his position. They've got a great start. 8 gems now to 0. Oof. As Valiant will fall. Captain Rocks playing out of his mind on the Carl right now.
Wow. Yeah, deciding to take the previous round a little bit maybe too close to heart, and well, does manage to really play it all out. Unfortunately, right now for Monarchy, this is a dangerous spot. Really, Sran very much pushed back into the open. Shamar now just beelining for the player, but cannot find any sort of conclusion on the 44 HP as well. Just needed one more shot to deny the countdown, but wow, how close that was.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about narrowly avoided disaster there in that situation. It doesn't get much narrower than that, unfortunately. So, yeah, look, Monarchy, they hold, they tie it up, they force the decider. That definitely could have been a lot cleaner from the side of Overthrow, but it doesn't always go that way in the end. Sran again, having that priority as the V. Valiant taking so much damage, and I think it is because Captain Rocks is aggressively affecting this mid lane as well. The Rico Super comes out, they will find the kill onto the Carl, looking for more damage onto Sran, but Supers are there for both Walk and Sran. They can look to lane swap, send Carl over to this Frank. Unfortunately, it is going to be a jump in and from Walk, and the damage, the gadget paired, that long range attack. Valiant as well, copping some punishment. And I have to say, Monarchy have been outmaneuvering Overthrow, at least at these last 2 rounds of the set.
Oh yeah, this has been a genuinely a formidable way how Monarchy have been able to really kite and just expose all the positions of Overthrow. Shamar has been doing his due diligence as a Frank though, but unfortunately for him, there's just not much of a response from the rest of the team. Walkthrough is just toying with his prey there. What are you doing, man?
Oh, Strong takes some big damage from Valiant though. We'll start to get that regen up. The hypercharge is available for Valiant. Super's up for the remainder of this Overthrow team. Captain Rocks jumps on it. Captain Rocks again, still playing out of his mind. The countdown starts, but they finish off the Carl, which means they lose that 1 gem that put them over the 10 mark. That is not a favourable spawn for the gems. Obviously, it goes the way of Overthrow. The next one will be coming Monarchy's way, so Sran can pick this up, which he is going to be able to do. This is their time. The countdown starts, and you see the Frank finds the kill on the Walk, and it's just an absolute obliteration in the back lines as the spawns come up. Walk comes in, finds all 10. Shamar's not far for the world, and Valiant, he's just so slow, takes so much damage. And it's just,
that's it.
Yeah, too deep for Overthrow. They commit too heavily into the back lines. And it should have been. I mean, realistically, Overthrow had a draft that could have successfully found them this set and pushed them to a decider, but no, Monarchy get it done. They show the skill diff in the end, and unfortunately, the Monarchy is not overthrown.
Poor Sophian looks absolutely defeated, and for all the understandable reasons. Look, they got oh so close to just getting themselves into, well, one more map at the very least to keep on contesting, and just could not push it through the finishing line. Unfortunately for them, that is it, their run. We have our grand final, and it's a rematch, Panda, a rematch of the last month final, Upcore versus Monarchy. But this time with a slightly different Monarchy. Maybe one could even argue an enhanced Monarchy.
Well, we'll have to see. Upcore Esports are looking strong, but so are Monarchy. Both have weathered the storm until this point. Yeah, look, Monarchy had to do it in one more map than, say, Upcore Esports. But when we come back after the break, it is time to crown our month 2 finalists here for South Asia. And I mean, Monarchy already have the crown. Not necessarily the crown for the tournament, but it's the Monarchy. It's King. Yeah, you know what? We'll see you after the break. We'll figure it out then. 8 teams started the bracket here in the South Asia Monthly Finals number 2. Now, of course, it is grand finals time. There are 2 teams remaining on one side of that bracket. The top side, it was Up Force Esports coming in through the lower, doing it a little bit longer by one map, one singular set. Monarchy coming through. It was a pretty flawless run for both teams. Quarterfinals, absolute blowouts. One-sided affairs. Semi-finals. That's where things really started heating up. Things got close. Now in the grand finals, the 2 most hotly contested teams, the 2 teams that most people expected to be coming through into this grand finals. On one side, it is Upcore Esports looking to defend, go back to back, and take themselves to monthly finals to book themselves potentially that spot at the Road Brawl Cup. They will be leading in terms of points off of a win last month. Now, at least second guaranteed, more than likely first if they bring out the back-to-back win. They will be leading in terms of overall points. But Monarchy, they're looking to try and take that away from themselves. They have something to prove here.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we look back at the storyline for Monarchy against what was back then known as Blinks, and it was an utter washout. A 3-0. The open business was played out in a 2-1 fashion. Shooting Star was played out in a 2-1 fashion, and then we went into the Heist, and that was a 2-0. So for this very grand final, Monarchy are looking for a redemption arc here in every possible way.
Absolutely. I mean, coming into it, we've got a new set of maps as well. It is time for the grand final map, Beetles. It is a bridge too far for the Heist to start things off. Bounty and Hideout, Goldarm, Gulch for the knockout, Dueling, Beetles, Hot Zone, an iconic map and game mode, and then Pinhole, Punt for the Brawl Ball to round things out. I mean, Cthulhu, we got some very open maps, some very open lanes, and I mean, Heist as well as its own unique picks and bans that we do see coming through. Eve opened up first for Up Court. They will take that away. Obviously, we do see, some interesting bands sort of deviating from what we have seen for the most part this tournament. The staple being the likes of the Piper, the Angelo, the Melody. But seeing a Chuck coming through as a band is not necessarily one that I would have expected. But it's not totally crazy out of the ordinary there either. And look, Eve coming through. And a Bell, so again, already looking to play those long lanes.
All right, yeah, look, the Bell choice is quite a curious one here, given just that Bridge Too Far does allow quite a fair few lanes to attack in the safe, so, at the safe, so it's quite difficult to defend it. So Bell being introduced here is one of the, arguably, the safe options, really, if we look at it. Long-range brawlers as well will be able to control the mid, so as long as there is some sort of a backup for Bell, maybe even a B choice here, Monarchy will have a pretty smooth run, I reckon.
I mean, on the Heist, Daryl's taken away, Colt's taken away. You're probably looking something along the lines of a Brock, which is about to touch on. He's pretty much a staple, just being able to burn out that tower, the safe, not the tower, safe. Arguments could be made for the Berry as well. Yes, again, did receive a bit of love in the most recent patch notes. And by love, I mean he was nerfed a little bit, but it was his healing rather than his damage output. So he's still going to be offering that as a thrower. The Eve as well. Yeah, look, there's definitely still a lot that could be utilized quite comfortably in the Heist, but already, Monarchy are putting all of the eggs in the same basket in terms of long-range threat.
Yeah, look, whole eggs in one basket is certainly one of the ways to really put it. Carl does coming out, and we got to see him on the multitude of times how potent he was. He's potent now in the current SA meta. That's 1. 2 is for Heist. He's going to be quite good, I would say. The damage output, the ability with the burning pickaxe as well. It is a good day to be a Carl main.
Absolutely. He has been just an absolute staple of the South Asian competition tonight, and I wouldn't be surprised if he continues to be, given how strong he is in the current state of the game. Not to mention that heat ejector gadget on his hook means that those high safes are going to be a little bit harder to keep alive just because of the burn damage. Nani comes out as well, great damage output at range. Not to mention the explosive threat of the super. I do think it's a pretty well-rounded draft for Up Court. They've got a game plan. If they stick to it, we've seen what they're capable of. For Monarchy, what are they doing to round it out here? I think they also Oh, I think they almost have to just commit to the range, potentially look for something in terms of frontlining. I get it. Berry's not the worst idea. I just think it struggles probably into what Upcore have brought. There goes to the Amber. So again, committing to the long range, committing to the burn, committing to the just insane damage threat from distance. They are really going to look to burn that safe. I mean, Amber is just an insane pick to round out this comp. That is a lot of damage threat. And if they cannot clean up this Monarchy roster, that safe is not long for this world.
Panda, you won't believe me. I literally was just about to say, in before the Amber pick. And lo and behold, materialized in front of us.
Oh, there we go. It's time to get into it. Grand Finals time here for South Asia. Upcore Esports coming through in the top side of the bracket. Monarchy coming through in the lower side of the bracket. It is some big names in the South Asia Brawl Stars scene. It's time to get things underway. It is Heist time.
Heist time indeed. Oh man, it's been a moment since we got to see the Heist, and for Bridge Too Far it's a perfect map to bring that over. Brock as well, doing already quite a lot of damage. Captain Rock's setting up some good initial momentum, as Ash King is not particularly too comfortable with his health pool.
Oh my, yeah, the Carl again just being an absolute menace. Oh, just every map, every game mode, he's just slotted himself in pretty comfortably and done some big damage. Ash trying to control this mid lane, Yash on the right-hand side. And you can see, priority-wise, there is definitely a lot of control that Monarchy now have. Upcore Esports have been backed into a corner a little bit. Not finding the traction they're looking for.
Not at all. Yeah, forced to fall back in every capacity. There has been already quite a bit of damage to come on out, and Monarchy, though, have suffered it a fair bit more. But in terms of the overall damage output towards the Brawlers, things have been looking quite bleak for Monarchy. But finally, we do see Upcore starting to come on out. Oh my god, straight off the bat, though, Sran just gets absolutely shut down.
Well, the heat injector's out as well, and it's just going to continue burning away at the safe at the moment. The great damage being done here by Monarchy. Walk will be finished off as they did lane swap here to try and deal with the menace that has been the Carl. Meanwhile, Ash King in the mid lane. Again, just pumping out the damage on this Eve. Captain Rocks has not found the control that I think he's looking for, the power range of Brock, as it were. Amber falls, hypercharge is up and available for Trishan. He's just going to keep chipping away at that safe at the moment. They're just trying to body block shots out at this stage. Hypercharge drop. Trishan looking to go in deep. Misses the shot of the Yash. Misses all three shots as he will fall to Yash in the end. Hypercharge is up and available. He's taking so much damage. The heat eject is out again. That is a brutal reality check for Stran. Jumps, chucks out the hyper, looks to find the kill onto the Carl, and just misses everything off the back of it.
Yeah, it's a rough day. It's a rough day to be a Monarchy player as well. The push comes to shove. Ash King puts potentially I was about to say nearly the final finishing touches, but already with a countdown going. Oh, in comes the burst damage as well. 33, 27, 24%. So close. But unfortunately, no cigars. 4 seconds remaining, and that burst damage, whilst it did a ton of damage, unfortunately for Monarchy, they could not really get the damage check for themselves.
Yeah, look, I wondered, is this going to continue being a pretty competitive grand final, given how close much closer the semi-finals were compared to the quarterfinals? But it definitely seems that Upcore are still the top dogs in this competition. Monarchy are going to have to work a little bit harder if they want to dethrone them in that situation. So far, yeah, Upcore proving that this pickup was very much the right decision for the org. But there you go. Walk does exactly what his name suggests. Gets on up, does some big damage to Ash King, ducking and diving behind these barrels to try and get the regen up. His Sran is just going to get free reign on this safe at the moment. 6% done in the early moments of the game, and Yash on the Carl again, just pumping away. And I think the lane swap is definitely enabling Monarchy a little bit more. Trishant somehow still alive, will finally be burnt out. Now Amber can go to town on the safe.
Yeah, perfect opportunity here, and only now starting to get shut down, but even still already at 69%. Meanwhile, Monarchy safe completely has been untouched. Yeah, Ash King to fall too, and Monarchy may have found that right combination of who do they want to place where, and this is now looking to be a bit of a dangerous position really to where they could find themselves in. It is definitely something that they need to really just sort out, filter out, and from onwards to go, they should be pretty sorted.
I mean, Sran is just keeping up this pressure in the mid lane. Brilliant stuff so far from the Bell. I think that lane swap has just enabled them so much more coming into the second round of the set. Walk does fall. Trishant allows up court to walk their way back up the map for now, and you can see that trap is just there. They get too close, but Sran just evaporated by Trishant and Ash King in combo. But just the flammable goo on the ground means that Trishant can't walk up too much further. Big damage coming out of Hypercharge onto Trishant, looking for the shots, but Sran is answered back in kind. They find the kill onto Ash King, if nothing else. But Yash has been completely shut down after that initial round. He finds himself something, the Hypercharge going out. Ash jumping over the wall, trying to find himself an avenue onto this Brock. Yash drops the Hypercharge spin as well. It's not going to find much of anything. And suddenly, with 36 seconds remaining, now down to, sorry, not even 36, 26 now, they are trying desperately to get any damage they possibly can out. There's a single percentage difference at the moment. You can see Trash just waiting, biding his time. Big damage out onto Rocks. He's shut down, and it is still up court, who need to get that little bit of extra damage out. They clear the map, they get themselves up, and there you go, down to 59%. And Yash just left in the wings, getting some massive opportunities there. And up court, bide their time, wait for the moment to present itself, and they get the damage needed. They take the heist in a heist.
In a heist indeed, Panda. That was one hell of a turnaround really here. Upcore Esports brought it all back from a brink of extinction, I have to say, with the way how they just played this part out themselves. A phenomenal work, phenomenal job that they've done, and now back into the overall swing of things. They're looking to continue this momentum for themselves, I feel. I'm curious to find if that momentum can be continued. Hideout is the next one, and that is one hell of an open map.
Yeah, look, I think there's definitely a lot. Look, to be fair, I think we're going to see, again, a pretty hotly contested Carl, if I'm being honest, on a map like this. on the Bounty as well. I think he's just been such a staple of the South Asia competition so far. I would be very surprised if he's not banned and back through without being picked up at all. Up court will pick up the coin toss as well, which gives them that first pick. And
perfect.
I mean, to be fair, look, that truck, look, I'll be honest, I wasn't 100% sold on it, honestly, but they still make it work, and I think that is the powerhouse that is Upcore Esports shining. Yeah.
It's the big difference to be able to really convert a fair few of the performances, a fair few of the games, even with what would be considered a disadvantageous lineup, and certainly they've been able to really put that theory to test in full and really come out really swinging there for themselves. So no, massive kudos for them. Now the question being is how well they are able to really keep up this pressure and momentum, because I feel like now with Bounty as well, this is going to be the ultimate test.
Absolutely. I mean, look, I'm not surprised at all that we see two fairly prevalent pulleys being banned out here in the Grey and the Gene. In fact, copping a double ban on the side of Monarchy. Bell and Ollie taken out. In fact, yeah, I mean, Grey and Ollie both copping mirror bans there. Carl immediately picked up. First round for Upcore. They win the coin toss. They get the Carl. I think that is perfect for them.
Yeah. Good opportunity to nap the Carl pick, and yeah, I'm all for it. Really, just the way how so far Upcore were able to play him, it's going to complement them to the fullest here, and I just want to see what kind of shenanigans we get to bring out here from their end, because they are a menace right now.
Yeah, I would probably imagine this is going to Yash as well. I mean, he's the one who's been playing it previously. Monarchy opt into the Angelo, and on this map, it's going to do reasonably well. Little long avenues for him to charge those shots up, so Upcore are going to have to be, again, positioning pretty carefully, unless they want to take a lot of damage very, very suddenly, in which case, that's fine. They just stand still. RT as well, so already Monarchy looking to put in a lot of damage to answer this Upcore Esports draft that has already started. Yeah, I think they've got the tools, or the makings at least, of the tools to deal with this Carl pretty quickly.
That is true, yeah. Both the RT and the Angelo can dish out a lot of damage. Upcore will need to really, find themselves either at the position where they just try to double up on boosting this Carl and improving I suppose call it the quality of life for the brawler, or try to just double down even further and just bring out equal range play really here.
8-bit is the response. Two very bulky boys are going to be in play for either side, but both are highly impactful damage dealers. I think the problem again, 8-bit is a little bit immobile, which could be used to punish, but is going to be likely able to hold down that mid lane pretty comfortably, given that he has a lot of damage output at pretty significant range. So Monarchy, I mean, look, I think if you sit the Angelo in the mid lane, it is going to be a pretty decent answer to him. Those charge up shots, you sit behind a wall, as soon as it's charged up ready to go, you duck out, send it off, and if you hit him, that's a lot of damage. So I think the answer is definitely there.
Well, let's see if that is going to be the case. Oh, Ash King coming out swinging with his pick as well. I believe that is Mandy coming on through. Pretty solid one. And in the meantime, Monarchy deciding to double up as well with their own unhinged picks as well.
Yeah, the Sprout, I mean, look, you know what's even better than, you know, destroying walls is creating your own ones and making it a little bit harder for them to land damage onto you, and I think that is definitely going to work in this comp pretty well. So in the grand scheme of things, again, for Monarchy, definitely feels like it's an uphill battle. Upcore feeling incredibly switched on, feeling on top of things at this stage in the competition. Looking to go back to back, of course, as we jump into set 2 of the grand finals. They are looking to get it done here in 3, so I don't think they're going to want to give this one over to Monarchy. Jumping into the bounty, let's get it started. Upcore up by a set. Monarchy looking to battle back as we jump into it.
Yeah, straight from the get-go, it is a push through middle. It is Upcore to nab themselves that blue star straight from the get-go. Not really looking to hold back any punches. This is where they really get to all the full-on thorough gaming for themselves. Curious to see if there's going to be any or much of a return to form, because yeah, this could be a pretty dangerous turnaround if they don't really control the pacing.
I mean, a straight trade 1-for-1 with the blue star there for Monarchy means they will hold that advantage, that tiebreaker at this stage. I mean, that Sprout thrower, yeah, just closes off mid lane completely. I'm surprised that the 8-bit is playing that right hand lane. I would have thought that's where you would have put Trishant. I mean, to be fair, a lot of open space and no real lane is amazing for the Carl. You kind of want to play in behind those tucked in points. And there you go, the flying hook eats a charge shot from Walk. And now 5-3 as Monarchy look to take this lead and potentially force themselves over the line to take a map 2.
Certainly so. Well, already quite a fair bit of a punishment coming on through. Trishant trying to keep himself alive, but the Carl can only do so much really to just get himself out of the problems. But yeah, look, Monarchy really managed to accelerate it, though already equal points. Captain Rox was able to stay alive for a brief moment there. 7 stars to 5, 27 seconds to go. There's still quite a fair bit of damage to be done, and 8 point above 7 against Monarchy, and now they need to just try to stay alive maybe, but no, it's a battle against another battle. Yak needs to be very careful here about his positioning, because his death could mean that that's the round over.
The 8-bit damage boost not quite finding the traction they're wanting to, but it gets them what they need in terms of positioning to take the star lead, and they even double down, finding Walk on the fadeaway. And again, just slow burn from Upcore Esports. Yeah. They just play the time, look for the opening. Every single time it has presented itself, they've jumped on it mercilessly. And Monarchy, they just cannot keep giving those avenues back into them.
Oh no, not at all. Yeah, can't really afford to do such thing really for themselves, because Monarchy are now currently on the back foot with all of the situations that they find themselves in. They're the ones that are technically the underdogs, and yeah, even with the roster change, it doesn't seem like there's much of an increase in chances for survival.
Yeah, a lot of care needs to be shown right now for this Monarchy roster if they want a chance. The blue star is going to be picked up by Trishant. He did go for the flying hook, but it is a Sprout, of course, is going to be thrown over the wall. Angelo as well, looking to try and find those avenues through. Force right back, and Captain Rox will just snipe away Trishant. Yash doesn't have the support that he needs to. He's very, very low. Will be finished off too. And so once again, we find ourselves in eerily similar territory with Monarchy having a lead, but can they consider keep holding on to it, find themselves the victory? And there you go. Captain Rocks will drop the hypercharge through mid, lock them out, try and find and facilitate the fadeaway.
Certainly so. Already a few last opportunities here to try to keep it up, keep it going. Wondering where this could take us. 45 seconds to go. Monarchy need to keep themselves steady, and certainly they do so in spades right now. Just trying to keep up that pressure to force the Upcore Esports into the cover and, well, prevent them from pushing out, because that is where they really will have a very tough time to really rescore back.
Yeah, and I mean the Sprout Super is going to be integral to just try and close those long range choke points and those long avenues for them to punch out damage. Walk finds one, Shran finds a second, as they are now up 11-3 with 10 seconds remaining. It looks like it might just be enough here for Monarchy this time around. They've slowed it down, they've played to their win condition, which was just denying Upcore Esports the gap close, and they will take it. They force a decider here in the bounty. They might even take themselves a map to boot if they can win this third round of the set. To be fair, that was a brilliant response. They adapted incredibly well to try and push themselves to now a decider here on the bounty. Upcore looked like they were a lot less mobile, a lot less free to do what they wanted to that time around.
Oh yeah, 110%. Upcore looked a little bit almost lost there, really, with a few of the positions that they looked to open up for themselves. But yeah, no, deciding to really to pull back is not the worst choice really here. But I have to be quite careful. Managing to score themselves that early point advantage is certainly going to be quite potent, despite the fact that Monarchy did order themselves that blue star as well.
Yeah, maybe a little lack of respect here in terms of facing down the 8-bit damage boost output, because he hits very, very hard, so you've got to avoid that damage best you can. Walks tucked into a corner, charge up the shot, big damage on a Yash, but he's looking to finish him off with a damage boost super drop by Yash to keep himself alive. Upcore up 6-1, they find themselves yet another to make it 8-1. All of a sudden, Monarchy might have let this slip away from them. They look good in that second round of the set, trying to bring it back, and then Upcore once again just hit the gas pedal and accelerate out. Hash King drops the hypercharge. Isn't going to find much of anything, but it's more of a deterrence than anything. And so, 44 seconds remaining, Monarchy might have just let this set slip away from them.
Yeah, Monarchy not looking particularly too happy, too ecstatic about this turnaround that they've brought on in, because yeah, look, things are looking quite bleak. 8-4 still can be brought back if they are quite careful, and in fact they will be. 11-8. Pardon me. 20 seconds to go. 13 now. Monarchy, I'm sorry, I was not aware of your game, it seems, and the comeback is in fact quite real here.
Trashan's taking too much damage. He needs to get that regen up so he can try and maybe make a play off of the flying hook, but I don't know if he's still got the gadgets remaining. Oh, he's caught! No. The flying hook goes to nowhere, and unfortunately it is very much on Upcore Esports' face. Monarchy, they absolutely splat back into the face of Upcore Esports there. That was a brutal shutdown in that decider.
Yeah, no, there's no real way to sugarcoat it. This was an absolute flop, really, here from Monarchy. They wanted to, you know, get all flashy and everything, but just, yeah, waffled on out, and that was them shut down and devastated completely.
Well, we definitely have a series on our hands. It is not just going to be a clean sweep here out of Upcore Esports. We are guaranteed at least Dueling Beetles, if not Pinhole Punt as well. Goldarm Gulch for the knockout up next. And I mean, we haven't seen it since last monthly finals. It's good to see it back now here in the grand finals. Again, very, very similar situations where a couple of those long avenues could really be a problem if you're not playing your positioning correctly, because there is a huge amount of damage threat and a huge amount of punish potential. Monarchy have given themselves a real boost in terms of momentum coming into the set 3.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Monarchy right now will be riding a very big wave of just a high performance really from that sort of steal away. I would imagine that they would be quite happy, quite ecstatic about how this really panned out for them, and just overall a bit of an endurance game quite possibly is on our hands. And the other thing worth mentioning, Monarchy already made this a much better scoreline than what they had back in the previous month's finals.
I mean, it's exactly it, but I mean, coming into it, Upcore Esports Monarchy as we head into the draft for Goldarm Gulch. Look at that, Gray and Jean both banned out by Upcore. They followed up with an RT. Lou, Mandy, and Kit banned out for Monarchy in response. So both pulleys gone, courtesy of Upcore. I mean, in this situation, Upcore are going to have to really right the ship here.
Oh yeah, they'll need something very decisive here for themselves to keep it up and to really sort their own performance in every possible way. Looking at the choices, Monarchy actually pick up an Ollie as well. The agent, or rather, sorry, not an agent. What am I saying? The brawler that is absolutely just still managing to keep up pretty well in the current meta despite the nerfs. Just being able to just bring him or ground him a little bit more, but still a very potent brawler to really play with.
Yeah, I mean, Ollie has been banned out a little bit here throughout this South Asia run of monthly finals too, but he makes his way through. He's going to be up and available for Monarchy this time around. For Upcore, I mean, there are plenty of responses going into Goldarm Gulch. The Buster making its way through for the first time this tournament.
Right. I'm liking this. I like this, the Buster choice as well, seeing as, yeah, like you highlighted, not the most frequent pick to bring on out, but nonetheless, recently a much more frequent pick in the regular game as well. Buster has seen some pretty flashy plays last month as well.
Well, they pair it with the Janet. So, I mean, look, this front line, there is a lot of damage threat coming out of the Janet. They've got that gap closed, so they want to chase things down. Plus, it is just a little bit of a bailout. If you lose too much damage in a fight, you can just take to the skies, get yourself out of danger. For Monarchy, they've got the Ollie already. They've got a bit of front line. What do they look to bring to pit with it? Again, they could probably look into the beefier side of things, double down in terms of that tank, but already with the damage output and the threat, I mean, Buster, he's got a lot to offer in this draft already.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of frontlining capabilities that can be unlocked here from Upcore. The question being is, who do they bring on out for the final one, for the damage deal, or whether it's going to be another support, maybe something like even a Max to back up Buster. But instead, for the time being, Monarchy bringing on in Mr. P. I like this. I like this a lot, I have to say, and the Jewel as well. Look, Monarchy might be cooking.
Ollie, Pearl, Mr. P. Yeah, it's a huge amount of damage output. Good front line. I think, honestly, a Poco could really make this a very, very solid, well-rounded roster for Upcore, just giving that Buster the sustain, not to mention empowering the Janet. Means you can be a little bit more free in terms of the trades you take. So, I mean, the question is, of course, what do Upcore Esports look to do, how they want to round this out. I mean, Kit being bad means that you can't just sort of sit him in the back pocket of the Buster. I mean, you've got damage threat, you've got frontline. I mean, Buster does a decent amount of damage as well. It's going to be the Sprout, so throw something to as well cut off some of those avenues, a bit of control. I rate it.
I rate it, absolutely. This is a perfect choice here, I have to say, for Upcore Esports. So, yeah, look, I'd say both of the rosters have some pretty solid ideas as to what do they want to bring, how do they want to play it all out. Matter of question is now, how are they going to play their cards here? How are they going to play their positions? For a map like this, it's going to be a pretty, well, a rough one in case things do fall apart. Goldarm Gulch being the knockout map, it's going to make things pretty escalated pretty quickly.
Absolutely. And Matt, set 3. of the grand finals underway. It's knockout already. I mean, these drafts are getting spicier. Look at it, it's not the standard approach. We are going to see a bit of a 3-3 split up either side of the map, but this Mr. P, they brought the Sprout as a responder here. So the problem being for both teams, there is no significant wall break. Maybe Pearl can make something happen, but otherwise, I suppose it does favour Monarchy just a little bit with the Ollie. It also works pretty well with the Mr. P, just being able to use that damage from range, being able to get that shot over the wall, the coffin rather than the briefcase, because of the skin, obviously the Undertaker, Mr. P, rather than the hotel owner. But as it stands, I mean, so far damage has been pretty negligible between both parties. You can see Trishant taking the brunt of it, courtesy of this Mr. P.
Certainly so. All right. Looking at this engagement so far, Trishant taking a little bit of damage here as well as Sprout will be looking to try to maybe initiate a few of the pushes here. Very much of an up close, up in the face walkthrough, taking a lot of damage here, but needs to be very cautious because right now this is all a fall apart. Actually, up core completely fallen amidst the chaos that was ensued, and Monarchy just tanked through all the damage.
Yeah, unfortunately they need to connect a little bit more, but I mean, Hypercharge is up for Yash, which means that plot armor is going to be available to him. I do rate it in terms of what it is now going to be offering. One of the fresher Hypercharge is now in the game, of course, up and available. Being able to just soak so much more damage with that shield being now completely around it, rather than just in front like it was with just the super. And so as it stands, Super's Hypercharge is up now for Core Esports. They are backed into a corner though. Just the sheer damage output of this Monarchy roster is a real problem. And there you go, wall comes out, the plot armor drop, but for no gain, unfortunately.
This is all very much of a dire straits here. Upcore Esports forced against the wall the moment the gas starts coming on in. This is a problem and a half, and Monarchy doing such a perfect job at just denying the place, denying the space. Trishant first to fall to Sran, and it's all an absolute wipeout, Panda. Upcore Esports falling apart right in front of our eyes. Monarchy scoring the first round in their favor, and what a turnaround. Turnaround for Upcore. Perfect case scenario really here for Monarchy. Not a single moment that was there where they looked dire.
Yeah, I mean, look, just execution being the key there. They executed it so much better than Upcore Esports did. Yeah, just not having that wall break means that obviously the Mr. P can go to... Yeah, look, to be fair, you've got a Sprout who does similar, but so far Sran has definitely been connecting that much more. The Yash Buster is getting some great damage out, but they can't follow up because Yash has taken so much punishment already. Walk so very, very low in that situation. They nearly could have found a pick, but with how much damage is being returned, they've got to play positioning very, very carefully. And there you go, Sprout locks things down on that right-hand side. Yash, they've got them backed into a corner, but there is still room for them to work.
Oh yeah, plenty of room to work with. Yeah, look, there's going to be a few big opportunities to really make the play happen. But the way how I'm seeing this right now, Monarchy, actually starting to fall apart. Hold that thought. There's still a lot of HP to really grind through. 2 versus 2. Yash is not looking particularly too healthy. A few more pokes though from Sprout, and that could be it. But the gas is starting to come on through, and no, Trishant does not stay alive. Yash 1v1 versus walkthrough, and yeah, just the damage is just too big that needs to go through into walkthrough for him to fall.
Yeah, unfortunately, just the health disparity there costing them at the end. I mean, they did a solid job to rig it out of the 1v1, but the fact that Yash had already taken so much damage, did not have the super, he just committed to find the follow-up kill onto, I believe it was the Pearl at that stage. But, well, here we go. One more. Monarchy will take the lead in this series. And I think it's the first time in the monthly final so far. Hypnotize goes out. Walk trying to close that gap, but he's caught out and isolated. They need to finish him, and they will. Janet takes to the skies, looking to try and pump out that damage. Tran taking so much, and this is much cleaner now from Upcore Esports than the last few rounds in this set right now. Pearl, Captain Rocks there, needs to pull out a massive clutch if he wants to take this and close out the set from Monarchy. Otherwise, Upcore will be given an avenue back into things. The damage you can see coming out from the Janet Sprout combo. This is, yeah, look, I think this is just going to be pretty standard, pretty easy. It should be up for taking this pill. Yeah, just going to walk in, deny any hypercharge or supercharge. Actually, unfortunately, it does allow Trishant to get the hyper up, so just not quite mobile enough to get out of the danger, or out of range fast enough.
Yeah. Well, look, there's a few more opportunities, I feel, to come on out for the Upcore Esports, but they need to be very cautious about how they play their cards because they need to go through a lot of HP. I say that though, Captain Rock's perfect opener, but so is the Ash King trade as well. 2 versus 2 remaining. Yash still has quite a fair bit of HP. Ash King needs to be very cautious about how he approaches this. On the side of Monarchy, still 11,000 HP for walkthrough as well, and he will be the main brunt, or rather main brawler to really try to take as much damage as possible. Perfect opportunity from Janet here as well, and in comes the play. Ollie is now in full effect.
Yeah, but unfortunately damage comes out, having taken it down to a 2v1. Walker's going to get some HP back, but again, I think his best bet is to try and walk into the gas, deny the supers, but the supers come up anyway, so it doesn't matter. And it will be tied up in this set. We go to the decider here in the knockout. One more to decide who takes the set as a whole. And Monarchy put up a great start. The first round was very, very clean from them. Second one, great bounce back from Upcore. So you're going to have to be on point to close it out and take that map advantage.
Absolutely. So, yeah, man, this is a nerve wreck really for both of the teams. A much closer venture comparative to what we got to see back in the last month's finals. The Ash will need to be very careful about how he plays it all out. Ash King trying to keep up this pressure here to bring on through Upcore. Needs to take up a bit more space here because right now a lot of this ground is being given away to Monarchy and they're free to move around.
Yeah, I mean, looking at that right hand side of the map, Upcore super is available for the Sprout, so could potentially look to lock out Shran, but not going to find that opportunity. Just a little bit too far back, I think, in the end. You can see Walk trying to get very aggressive up. Super comes out from Captain Rocks to break those walls, but they don't find a pick or anything. Shran is in danger. He's very, very low. The bust up with that montage locks Captain Rocks out of position to finish off any of those kills. The hypercharge available for Trishant, and they come out swinging here, and the decided Trishant is low, but Walk, can he find anything? Jumps over the wall looking for it. Trishant is just going to play his life into the gas, takes to the sky, and Yash and Ash King will get it done. It was close. It was very, very tight there at the end, but they get it done.
They do get it done indeed, Panda, but man, oh man, this is a absolutely scary setup here that is being brought on out between the both rosters. Upcore, though, feeling a little bit more, well, I guess, well put together, really, in terms of how they're playing their run right now. Brawl, Shran is taking quite a lot of damage. Ollie, unfortunately, hasn't yet been able to pay off much of a dividend in comparison to what was in round number 1, but Captain Rocks needs to make that play happen. Yash, so low on HP. The burn damage is there, but unfortunately, no finisher just yet. Captain Rocks falls instead. Shran wants to go for the chase, and Walkthrough wants to get the finisher at least on one of them. Unfortunately, can't really do it, and that is it. That is the second point for Upcore Esports. Panda, a tumultuous run, if anything, right now.
I mean, look, another clean set hold there for Upcore. I mean, these guys are the masters of patience coming out of South Asia. They wait for the moment to present itself that they can then collapse and capitalize on their opponent's mistakes. Unfortunately for Monarchy, they've presented themselves too many times in the knockout, and it does allow the Goldarm Gulch to go the way of Upcore. They are just waiting for that opportunity to collapse and demolish their opponents, and it's happened time after time after time. They now take the lead in this series, but they need one more set to get it done. Dueling Beetles Hot Zone up next. I mean, realistically, given how they've been playing, they could do it, but with Monarchy playing the way that they have been, there is a very real chance we get pushed to that Brawl Ball to finish things off.
Oh yeah, Brawl Ball is certainly feeling like it is a very possible game mode for us to see to close out the grand finals and to crown us the winner of this month's finals. But look, yeah, Dueling Beetles, we got to see it already once with that map being played out. Hot Zone as well does enforce a lot of that pace, a lot of the very careful positioning as well with how the brawlers need to really play it all out, but losing control early, it will make it so difficult to recover, and the wall breakers can shift the entire map dynamic here.
Yeah, I mean, it is going to have to come down to obviously pacing. There is a very real chance that this one could spiral out of control if you're not careful. Again, which has been the case. I mean, Upcore have just been sitting patiently waiting for that opportunity. They then blow up Monarchy when they step out of position. But Monarchy are going to win the coin toss this time around. That might just give them the advantage they need, I think, honestly, going into this set 4.
Yeah. Monarchy proven to us that they can make this roster bleed, and the introduction even of walkthrough has actually certainly bolstered the performance of Monarchy in every capacity. Whilst not the most ideal turnaround so far, 2-1 scoreline, and with them being on the cusp of potentially losing out all the advantage, or rather not the advantage, all the progress that they've managed to accumulate so far, Monarchy can still be very much of a real danger here to Upcore Esports. So I'm looking at this, B pick for Serana. I very much enjoy that. I'd like to see that.
I mean, yeah, going Dueling Beetles for the hot zone, they're having that coin toss win, picking it up. Lou, Griff, Ollie banned up for Esports, Mr. P, Meeple, and Lou copping the double ban on this map. But yeah, to be fair, we've already seen why on the hot zone. Lou just being able to shut down that super right on top of it and completely negate any positional priority over it is understandable why he's going to be copping, I would imagine, plenty of bans throughout 2025 when it comes to the hot zone. Upcore now with the response. What is their priority? It's going to be the Carl. Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, yeah. As if any of us were surprised for any of that. But look, yeah, Carl for Yash feels like almost now a staple choice in terms of what we can really expect to witness here. Overall, looking at this, and for Monarchy, they still yet to reveal, any backup brawlers to set some sort of, a very concrete pace here for Upcore. We already know they're going to be building around the Carl, and the Stu pick almost feels like a natural one.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, being able to get up the map quite quickly means that he can get back on the hot zone quickly if he dies. Which, I mean, is a pretty standard approach from what we've been seeing from teams. Just those highly mobile brawlers that can just, again, sort of just cycle through spawns, get back onto the objective as quickly as possible. Something along the lines of Melody Stew, Chuck even has been very much in that same vein. But, I mean, we haven't seen much of the Chuck. I mean, it did cop a ban earlier in the evening, but it's the only appearance it's had. Has not been picked. Only had the one ban. Largely, I think, fallen by the wayside in terms of how much you're gambling to try and make these things work. Monarchy, respond with a Hank.
Okay. I rate that to a certain degree. Again, Hank does require a little bit more finesse, at least, I think, in this sort of lineup, given that both Trishant and Yash, they will be able to put out a little bit of damage before Hank can really make his way over to them. But otherwise, looking at this, Upcore, okay, Boko to bring on out for Monarchy. I'm curious about how this will really play out, because for Upcore they could still throw a bit of a spanner in the works. For Monarchy, that Poco could be a bit of a make or break, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to give the sustain to hang. It means that B can be a little bit more aggressive because there is the sustain coming out of the Poco. Upcore Esports, I mean, they've got the burst to really deal with the Poco. They've got the burst to deal with pretty much everyone. It's going to be a dynamite, so this Hank suddenly becomes a little bit less secure in terms of its positioning. Poco as well could be exploded in a moment's notice. I think on the whole, the dynamite's not a bad pick. I think it offers a lot to them in terms of just working around some of these walls. On the hot zone is going to be great zone control as well. Monarchy, look, it's a good draw. I rate it. Again, they have the potential to take this one and force us to a set 5. In reality, I think Upcore is still technically the better individually, mechanically, and synergistically team, that they should be able to take this one.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Upcore have a pretty strong chance, really, to close it all out right here, right now. For Monarchy, they need to just show a bit more finesse, I feel, with their choices, with their plays. Certainly they have the ability to do so, but
it's time.
Hank could
the grand finals carrying on. going into set 4 Cthulhu, I think Upcore have definitely proved that they have what it takes to be back-to-back champions here in the finals. I mean, Walk, you can see what his game plan is with the Hank, get close to that indestructible wall. Unfortunately, there is Dynamite, which is exactly why Trishant is bringing it, so they can counter him. Unfortunately, that is me. Yeah, look, this is exactly what you've expected from Upcore. They just completely demolish, obliterate every single member of this Monarchy roster. I think, unfortunately, the Dynamite is going to do so much to counter this Hank that he's going to struggle to get himself next to the wall, which is what he needs to do.
Yeah, and now with the cover starting to slowly get shattered away as well, Monarchy will need to be very cautious about how they play it all out. But right now, actually, Walkthrough gets a ton of healing as well. Poco is actually doing just the right due diligence here as Sharanda gets the better of Yash. This is actually a really good turnaround here for Walkthrough. Oh, just nearly getting eliminated, but so much time, so much effort is going out for almost nothing. Upcore Esports not feeling particularly too hot right now, but Trishant does get the better of Captain Rocks. That's the healing's gone, and now starts the manhunt.
85 to 25. That is a 60% difference to make up now, but they've got themselves the wipe that they need to the reset and positioning. And from here, they can look to capitalize, clear out those walls. It means that the walk is going to be far less effective. Trishant can play behind it himself. Yeah, the big damage out onto the Hank to blow him up. Yash up on that right-hand lane, trying to finish off the Poco as well, Stu. I think Hank now struggles to close the gap. I mean, they're just going to send it on in, find one, looking for a second. Unfortunately, they lose to Shran right there on this B, but they've got themselves back in with a grin. Unfortunately, Walk now on the respawn is going to be up. And in the thing that Ash King finds one, he's looking for more duck and dive and a dodge, and they need to clear out Walk to get that space back for themselves. But no, unfortunately, in terms of tempo, it is just that much better for Monarchy.
Yeah, Monarchy really managed to find themselves a really good solution to their problem, and that was just to keep on out healing the damage and keep one of the tankiest brawlers up and running. Hank did the right job just to keep things away as much as possible. From there on, it was a pretty straightforward run, I feel.
Absolutely. I mean, off the back of that, Monarchy find themselves in a position to potentially force us to go to a set 5 here. They just need to win this out. If they can do that, then there is a very real chance they steal this monthly finals away. But it is Walk the first to fall, which gives a bit of priority. Unfortunately for Ash, he's taken so much damage, needs to wait for the regen. Yash with the tail end of the spin is just going to get it done onto Captain Rocks. That was a very near miss. Unfortunately, Trishant is just going to eat the homing missiles there from Walk. They need to get the damage out. The pop of the bubble onto Yash finishes him off. Ash King has the super, needs to get away from that damage, and the Dynamite needs to go to work to clear out this objective. But yeah, it's the sustain out of this Poco that is really, really making it hard for Upcore Esports to get themselves in and on the objective.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is a difficult turnaround here for Upcore Esports. They wanting to find themselves in the right position, in the right state, but right now, yeah, with the sheer amount of pressure that Monarchy are bringing it over, Upcore are looking at a 5th map to play it all out. Trade outs do come on through, but with Hank popping Dynamite even more, that is just it. That is an unfortunate result yet again. 82 and ticking. Monarchy are looking to close it all out in the 2-0.
I mean, we saw last monthly finals Poco was almost a permaban, and the hypercharge comes out to Captain Rocks. His team is just healthy as Larry. And there you go. Monarchy are going to force us to a map 5, and I think it purely comes down to the fact that they let the Poco through. You can't be doing that. He was permabanned last monthly final, and we see why.
Absolutely. It's a perfect example of just how well this synergy with Poco comes through, and Upcore are not happy at all. It is, and the despair in their eyes is looking pretty noticeable. The fact that this is also starting to get into pretty later parts of day for some of these players, they've been playing for quite a fair bit as well, and now potentially the question of endurance may be starting to come on through as well.
I mean, that's exactly it right now. I mean, we go to Pinhole Punt. It's Brawl Ball to close out this series. This set is going to be a very, very interesting one to see played out, of course. But, I mean, right now, I think there is argument to be made that Monarchy have probably done enough to prove that they are just as deserving of this victory as it stands. But crazy things do happen. And we've seen that time and time again. The big boon, I think, for the most part, though, is in terms of points towards that Road to Brawl Cup. that's going to be everything. I mean, Monarchy, yeah. So they might just... It's crazy. They are going to be tied for points if Monarchy win this series going into monthly finals 3. Because obviously last finals, there was then Blinks and Monarchy. Now it's potentially Monarchy and Upcore Esports. So either way, I think they're still going to hold on to the position in top 2 seeds going into that Road to Brawl Cup, which is exactly what they're looking for.
Oh yeah, perfect storyline as well for South Asia to have 2 very strong representatives of the for the region to go potentially to the global stage. I'm all for it, honestly, Panda. I love what I'm seeing here, and going into, like you said, into the Brawl Ball, this one is going to be either super accelerated, or we are going to see the absolute slugfest, just down to the overtime, down to the very last final moments before we see any sort of return on the investment.
It's going to be both. I think it's going to be chaotic. It's going to be fast-paced. It is just going to be an absolute slog for both these teams to try and close it out going into the Brawl Ball. The drafted Upcore immediately banned the Pogo. Complete and utter respect ban there after that last set. Ollie and Beta round it out. It's going to be Mr. P, Pogo, and Shade as the response from Monarchy. This is it. The last set of the grand final. It is do or die. You win, you take first place and take the crown of month finalists for number 2 here in March. You lose your second place. Yeah, look, you still get some money, you still get some points. I think for Monarchy, they still hold second seed, which is pretty impressive nonetheless. Lou, going to be the first pick for Monarchy.
Yeah, Lou choice. Look, it has been a bit of a up and down, really, of a pick, but I am all right there for it. Captain Rox and the rest of the team have been able to really find a good juggling space here for themselves, and going into what is going to be the final map of this grand final. Monarchy are looking to really put the hurt onto the Upcore Esports, and if they do lose out, that is a big reality check there for Upcore Esports, and a max choice for Yash to kick it off.
Well, Max Chester, the response for Upcore Esports. I mean, Chester, been pretty much a staple of the competition here in South Asia. They've been dominating with it. Max as well. So again, as you would expect, as we've seen, Max, that hyper-accelerated play to move that ball up the field so they can get that score off quickly. So far, everything is pointing in the right direction for Upcore Esports.
Oh, now they need to find a strong brawler to frontline the push here as well. If not Carl, I'm not too sure who else they're gonna go with, because that would feel like they are betraying their own lineup.
Well, we'll see. Yeah. Okay. So again, which is Max for one side, Stu potentially Melody for the other, which is what we've been seeing. Frank, I would imagine, is probably how Monarchy looks to round things out, as we've seen. It's probably going to be Frank to be with that Stu just a little bit of front line to enable him a little bit. But Core, I mean, that could go any number of ways, honestly. Carl, it's going to be Carl instead. They snipe it away.
All right, snipe the way it is. Looking forward to see how further on this could really go. Carl, Stu, and Lou, and Monarchy might actually have something on their hands here, really, with the way how they're looking to play it out.
Well, final pick here for Upcore Esports. I mean, again, I think you probably you probably lean into frontline to give a little bit of support to the Max. Obviously, a Frank with a Max is going to be a pretty scary combo. Something along those lines, something beefy. It's going to be okay. Otis. That's not what I would have expected, but look, again, I'm intrigued. What do they look to make happen with this Otis pick? It's not something that we've really seen much of at all.
Oh yeah, certainly so. Oh, final map is about to be pretty accelerated there very soon. I'm looking at all of this, and just, yeah, the question of the endurance is certainly in play here, and the mental games are going to be pretty strong here as well. Upcore feeling quite, I would imagine, upset about losing out that last match. Didn't really get much of the response back, but in we go for the push straight off the bat. Ash King already taking quite a fair bit of damage here for the play, trying to just keep up the damage output, but unfortunately just taking too much of the damage before he could, you know, keep up with the damage himself.
Oh, Strand desperately trying to play defender here, and Trishant clears out the goal. Nice, easy slot home for Ash King. They're looking to accelerate the close of this grand final. They want to get it done here. Strand playing through mid, trying to slow things down. Ash dives on through, has the super, but he's so low. Avoiding damage, he's stuck in diver to dodge, but walk charges on through at the cost of his own life, unfortunately. Trishant there, the heat ejector as well, just being a real problem. Yash, haven't really seen much out of this Otis yet. Who's he going to be targeting that silence at? Trishant finds Strand. And unfortunately, no more loot. There you go, the acceleration. And, well, the ball is not in hand. So they will have to walk themselves back. It does mean respawns can come through. Yash! He's going to look to try and get it. He's going to have to walk it over the line.
There we go. Just like that. Nice and smooth. Really here coming out from the Upcore Esports. Decided to really just say, okay, right, whatever happened before doesn't even matter. Let's just smash this match out. Let's smash this game out. And indeed, they have a pretty straightforward run, really, from them. Despite the best intentions of Monarchy, the first round did not pan out too well.
Yeah, look, I think the Otis, well, actually, I think it does enough. Whether or not we see it find success again, we'll have to wait. He's walked it over to the goal line. Either way, it's working. They lose Trishant off the rip, but big damage coming out from Ash King and Yash. They look to try and set themselves up for some success. Speed boost is going to be there. They look to make it even bigger. Ash King walks through, gets the charge off, and slots it home. That's a cheeky little goal for Upcore Esports, and they find themselves one shot on net away from winning the grand finals. They're looking to do it, pass it straight into Walk, who just ducks in behind Trishant. Has the speed boost as well. They're trying to work their way up, but Strand comes out in the 1v1, puts it into an unfavorable situation. Yash walks in, has the super as well, looking to get the silence off. They just need to clear out one more. Captain Rocks finds the win though, and gets the burn off onto Ash King. Somehow holds fast, and they just hold on. They are still in it for a breath longer.
Certainly so. Trishant still staying alive as well amidst all of the damage, just threading the needle really here and being able to really play his play pretty well, albeit the ball now is getting closer and closer. No, Ash King falls. It is a full-on run towards the goalpost, and indeed, Sran is the one to score. Monarchy could potentially bring it all back, but it's a full-on full send from here on out with Stu's gadget now available.
Hypercharge is up and available. Is that just a consolation prize? That is the question. Trishant falls, maybe overplaying his hand a little bit here, but there you go. Yash has dropped the Hypercharge. Ash has his as well. If they can split the difference, if they can just even get Monarchy to position on the wrong side of the field, there you go. Ash King moving with pace, moving with intensity. That heat ejector, unfortunately, zoning so heavily onto Upcore. There you go. Wall break, super shot! What a goal from Yash! Upcore! Steal away the set, steal away the series, and take the grand finals for themselves. Unfortunately for Yash, we cannot read a darn thing on his tablet right now. It was a bold call, a bold strategy, but the brightness is too high, mate. Try again next month. Toxic, but justified. I mean, that was a absolute snipe of a goal as Upcore take back-to-back month finals here in South Asia. You got to respect it, though.
Oh, look.
You got to talk the talk if you're going to walk the walk.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, after that sort of goal as well, all the trash talk is available here. Look, Panda, this, yeah, that's one hell of a way to conclude it, and I don't think that I would take it in any other way.
Absolutely. What a run. It was a close-fought thing to the bitter end. Having a look at the bracket, Upcore, up until the grand finals, had not dropped a set, and then they dropped 2 against Monarchy. And unfortunately for Monarchy, they will fall out in second place. To be fair, look, it's still $1,200. It's still plenty of points going towards the Road to Brawl Cup, but that was probably the closest I think we've seen South Asia monthly finals so far to this point. And it does mean that going into the next couple, at least, things are looking like they might be getting closer in terms of that skill gap in the top couple of positions.
Oh yeah, South Asia is looking pretty solid, all things considered. With the way how they've been playing it all out, it's been great. It's been a pleasure seeing them develop. And here, Monarchy, one more step closer to greatness, one more step to be able to steal away that first place spot for themselves.
Well, that does it all for month finals 2 for South Asia. Tomorrow night, Southeast Asia is on the docket. Same time, same place. Make sure you're there to see if Revenant can carry on the streak like we saw out of Upcore Esports, or if we can see newcomers like Upcore Esports Southeast Asia maybe take some kudos for themselves. We'll see you guys back tomorrow.